Accessing peace. Existing without violence, with the ability to calmly resolve conflict. Downloading love. An overwhelming, deep, positive affection towards others. Activating liberty. Living your life as you see fit without infringing on the lives of others.
Welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And you know, normally there's a theme for the show. Well, I don't mean, you know, like a recurring theme that I carry through each episode. Like each episode, I tend to have a specific theme or topic that I want to talk about. Well, not today. And I'll explain once I get it. Because I've got several different articles that have, a couple of them, been in the show prep for a while. And another one that I just came across, and, you know, they're not really related, but I definitely want to wind up going over them. So instead of holding on to them even longer, in the case of a couple of these stories, waiting on other things to be related, I figure, you know what, I'll just go ahead and have the show be, you know, I guess a series of unconnected segments, because I do segments of the show anyway, right? So why not just have them kind of be not necessarily connected while all being in the same episode, right? Well, let's jump off with, or start off with an article from the UK Daily Mail. And I know it's kind of a tabloid, and the headline might be a little misleading-ish, maybe. And I tried finding this study that is mentioned in here. Admittedly, I didn't dig too deep, and they don't link to the study from the article here at the Daily Mail. But I've got some serious questions with, you know, what they're presenting here as factual research. Let me just go ahead and jump in. And as always, the link will be in the show notes. You can read it at your leisure if you choose to do so. Headline: too much exercise can kill you, especially if you're a white man. Study finds 7.5 hours a week of fitness doubles your risk of heart disease. Yeah, so somewhat outlandish, right? One would think that exercise is good for you. Well, I've got some questions here, and I'll go ahead and throw out the questions, and then we'll get into the article and see if the article answers my questions. And this is why I really wanted to pull up the actual study itself instead of going based off of what somebody says a study says. So my first question is not how do they define exercise or fitness. No. My question is, are they accounting in some kind of way for poor diet? Just because somebody exercises a lot does not mean they have a good diet. And when I use the term diet here, I'm not talking about, oh, well, I'm on the grapefruit diet to where for 5 days I eat a grapefruit and I, suck on a piece of kale. I don't actually eat the piece of kale. I just suck the nutrients out of the kale, and then I, set it aside and turn it into something later. And I only eat grapefruits, and then I do that for a week, and then the following week I suck on a lemon. No, well, when I say diet, I'm talking about, actual lifestyle sort of, or not lifestyle, but, the actual regular things that are eaten. So some people have a very poor diet. They eat fast food a lot. They drink alcohol a lot. They drink a lot of sodas. Those are dietary choices. So again, when I say diet, I'm talking about dietary choices, not some short-term fad sort of thing. So are they accounting for that, and how much does that influence? Because there are a lot of people that they think, well, I'm exercising, so I can just, go ahead and eat at McDonald's a couple times a week, and then it's okay. Or I can eat a lot of this really bad stuff. I can eat, sugars and a lot of desserts and blah, 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 but I exercise, so therefore it's okay. Well, there are good sugars and bad sugars. There are good carbs. There are bad carbs. I know there are some people that will say, all carbs are the devil and all sugars are the devil, so you should never eat a banana because bananas have sugars, and therefore, because sugars are bad, so you should never even look at a carb, right? So like cars that have carburetors, you should never be in one of those because carburetor has the word carb in it, and carbs are bad. No, there are good carbs and bad carbs. There are good sugars and bad sugars. But this is not a dietary show. But again, I'm just curious if they calculated for dietary choice here. Now let's jump into the article, and again, a little fantastical, if you will. Too much exercise can kill you, according to science. White men who work out at least 7.5 hours a week are nearly twice as likely to suffer from heart disease than those who do a moderate amount, according to a new study. Researchers in Chicago assessed exercise patterns over the course of 25 years and made the surprising discovery that very active white men are 86% more likely to experience a buildup of plaque in the heart arteries by middle age. But this does not apply to black men, according to the researchers. It also suggested high levels of exercise over time cause stress on the arteries, leading to higher coronary artery calcification, or CAC. However, scientists warned people should not stop exercising. The team from the University of Illinois at Chicago and Kaiser Permanente looked at the physical activity trajectories of 3,175 black and white participants in the long-term Cardia study and assessed the presence of CAC. Stay tuned. There's more here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
It is the year 91,001 BCE. Witness humanity's origins in Hyperchronius, a classic role-playing game for Windows PCs, with a story like no other game before. A liberty-oriented experience that is not to be missed. Go to zog.ninja to get your copy of Hyperchronius today. Use the code FPP to get $1 off. Hyperchronius, zog.ninja, code FPP.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $3 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's FANS.fppradio.com.
Hi, I'm Nick Hazelton from the Anarcho-Yakutalism podcast, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
The presence and amount of CAC, coronary artery calcification, is a significant warning sign to doctors that a patient may be at risk for developing heart disease, and a signal to consider early preventative care. Again, the headline from the Daily Mail: too much exercise can kill you, especially if you're white. Now, again, I have questions, and I'm hoping that this article answers those questions. And then after going through this, what does it say about you if you return your shopping cart? Yes, I know, those are totally not related things, but, show doesn't always have to be one particular subject the entire way through. Again, study done by researchers from University of Illinois at Chicago and Kaiser Permanente that looked at the physical activity trajectories of 3,175 black and white participants in the long-term Cardia study. Again, took place over 25 years. And what they found was that white men, specifically in their study, that exercised at least 7.5 hours a week were nearly twice as likely to suffer from heart disease than those who did a moderate amount of exercise. They don't say what the difference is between those who did a lot of exercise and those who did none. Again, I have questions and sort of concerns here, and again, they don't link to the actual report or the study or anything from this article, and I was not able to find it with a cursory search. The article continues. Dr. Deepika Laddu, assistant professor of physical therapy at the University of Illinois Chicago College of Applied Health Sciences, said, "We expected to see that higher levels of physical activity over time would be associated with lower levels of CAC." Again, CAC being coronary artery calcification. However, researchers found that at the top level of exercise, there was no extra risk for black men, but an 86% increase for white men. Unique to the new study is the evaluation of long-term exercise patterns from young to adulthood into middle age. The study group had 8 follow-up examinations over 25 years from 1985 through 2011, starting between the ages of 18 and 30 and finishing between the ages of 43 and 55. Researchers split participants into 3 distinct groups based on physical activity patterns. Group 1 was defined as exercising below the national guidelines of less than 150 minutes a week. Group 2 met that guideline, and Group 3 was exercising 3 times above the national average, over 450 minutes per week. Overall, those in Group 3, those getting at least 450 minutes a week of exercise, were 27% more likely than those in Group 1 to develop CAC by middle age. When these findings were divided by race and gender, they found that white men were at the highest risk as they were 86% more likely to have CAC. There were no higher odds of CAC for black participants who exercised at this level, and while there was a similar trend for white women, it was not statistically significant. Professor Laddu added, because the study results show a significantly different level of risk between black and white participants based on long-term exercise trajectories, the data provides rationale for further investigation, especially by race, into the other biological mechanisms for CAC risk in people with very high levels of physical activity. So it sounds as though they did not actually look into, dietary choice, etc., or what they refer to as other biological mechanisms, i.e. genetics, things of that sort. So, are you genetically predisposed to having, heart problems, or the CAC here is coronary artery calcification. Study co-author Dr. Jamal Rana, cardiologist at Kaiser Permanente in Oakland, said high levels of exercise over time may cause stress on the arteries, leading to higher CAC. However, this plaque buildup may well be of the more stable kind and thus less likely to rupture and cause heart attack, which was not evaluated in this study. Again, they weren't testing whether the CAC, that the coronary artery calcification, whether that was the good calcification or the bad calcification that causes heart attack. However, Dr. Rana added, it does not suggest that anyone should stop exercising. Now, some people are going to read the headline here, too much exercise can kill you. Oh, well, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done exercising. Or there'll be people that don't exercise anyway and use this as justification for why they should not exercise. Well, the study says too much can kill me, so I'm going to die anyway, so why even exercise at all? Right? Well, no. Again, Dr. Rana says it does not suggest that anyone should stop exercising. The findings, they say in this article, are published in the journal Mayo Clinic Proceedings, but again, they don't link to them, and finding studies and whatnot online, not always the easiest thing to do. So, when we come back in just a moment, we're going to completely change gears. And are you one of the people that returns your shopping cart, or are you a shopping cart deserter? What does it say about you if you are either? And yes, I know there are times when, and the article even mentions, there are times when you might not be able to return the shopping cart for a myriad reasons. So, broad generalizations here, but very interesting article nonetheless. We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, I've got a question for you. Do you promote free market money? Do you use Bitcoin? If so, you need Spend-A-Bit. Spend-A-Bit is the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. They've aggregated millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Spend-A-Bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. That's spendabit.fppradio.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Coinbase is a simple and secure online Bitcoin wallet for sending, receiving, and storing Bitcoin. Coinbase also allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin using a bank account or use their tools to accept Bitcoin as a merchant. Coinbase has more than 1 million consumer wallets and is trusted by over 25,000 merchants, including Overstock.com, Khan Academy, Reddit, and of course, FPP. Get started at coinbase.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. I am your host, Darryl W. Perry, the Liberty Penguin, the Wombat, the uncut cocaine of libertarianism. And are you a shopping cart returner or a shopping cart deserter? Story from CraigDacey.com. And yeah, I know it's not one of the normal sources where I get things. And this article doesn't really seem to fit with what his website actually is. The header says Craig Dacey Financial Coaching. Well, how does shopping cart returning wind up connecting here? Well, I don't really think it does connect with financial coaching, but it does connect with whether or not you're a decent human being. Again, asterisks for the most part. There are, things that come up. So, it's a torrential downpour, and there's mud puddle or something. He even says, disclaimer, this blog post is a fun look at cart returning. There are obviously exceptions to every rule, and you might fall in a gray area. This article is about those who are able to make the choice to return a cart or not. If physical disabilities or family safety prevent you from returning a cart, then this blog post doesn't pertain to you. And it's that weird thing, and I've heard Brian Sovereign say this before. If I say, most people that fill in the blank, and you're not one of the people that does fill in the blank, then I'm not talking to you. Same thing here. If, I just realized that, I'm running late and something, then, not talking to you. If, I can't leave the kids in the car to go return the cart and there's, 3 kids. Yeah, not talking to you. You're not physically able to return the shopping cart. Not talking to you. But what does it say when you do return the shopping cart? He says, cart returners put others first. There are hundreds of excuses for someone to leave a cart propped up on a grassy median or left behind their parking space. Maybe they're just in a hurry or it's raining. Maybe they're trying to escape the dirty looks they're getting because their oversized trunk is parked across 2 spaces. Whatever the reason, there's one thing all of these excuses have in common. It's all about them. When you take the time to return your cart to its receptacle, you're showing that you care about the employees of the grocery store. You acknowledge that if you don't put the cart away, someone else will have to do it for you. Basically, it shows that you're not a selfish person. Why not take it a step further? If you see a disabled person with a cart, offer to return it for them. It's all about helping your neighbor. Now, I'm going to pause here for a moment and say I really like the way the Aldi chain incentivizes people to return the shopping carts. And if you're not familiar with this grocery store chain, allow me to explain it to you. It's this wonderful thing, and I realize that what I'm about to say next could come off in a very weird, misunderstood way. It's a brilliance of German efficiency. And I say that because Aldi is a German chain. They only have a handful of workers on shift at any given time. The cashier is also the person that, quote unquote, stocks the shelves. And by stock the shelves, for the most part, that means you just drop a pallet somewhere. So it's not traditionally stocked shelves, although they do have a couple of aisles where things are stocked on shelves, as in what you would see in a regular grocery store. But a lot of stuff, it's just dropped pallets. And it's very efficient because then you're not paying a stock person plus a cashier plus this person. You're not paying somebody to go return the buggies and bring them back in. So what they do to incentivize the return of buggies is you put a quarter into the buggy and then it releases a lock from another buggy. And in order to get your quarter back, you must return the buggy and then push the little lock into another buggy, and then it releases your quarter. So if you want to just, pay 25 cents and you leave your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot somewhere, yeah, go ahead. But most people, they're like, no, I want my quarter back. Continuing on. The author here says, successful people put others first. Instead of being wrapped up in their own thing that benefits only them, they look for ways to help and serve those around them. Zig Ziglar says, you will find you get all you want in life if you help each other enough, or rather, if you help enough other people get what they want. Let me read that again one more time. Try not to misread here. You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So there are some people that will say, well, Ayn Rand touts the virtue of selfishness. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish, but again, tie that in here. If you want to make a lot of money, how do you do that? Well, you have to help other people get things that they want. If somebody wants barbecue and you're really good at making barbecue, then you will make a lot of money helping people get barbecue. So being selfish doesn't mean being a jerk. Oh, funny how that works, right? You will get what you want in life if you help other people get what they want in life. What else does it say to be a cart returner? Stay tuned. I'll tell you here in moments on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
The FPP Peace Prize was created in 2009 with a mission to recognize a person or group that has, through deeds, words, and actions, worked to make the world a more peaceful place, where it shall be legal for anyone to do anything he wants, provided only that he not initiate or threaten violence against the person or legitimately owned property of another. Nominations are open each year until September 30th, with voting from October 1st until the first Tuesday of November. Vote now at peaceprize.xyz.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry. Online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com. Talking about what it means to be a cart returner versus a cart deserter. Cart returners put other people first. And again, that doesn't mean that, I thought of somebody else, and so therefore, I'm not selfish. No. You can be selfish and still be a decent human. I think really what he's saying here is when you return the cart and don't just, leave it taking up a parking spot, you're being a decent person by taking other people's, things into consideration. Again, the quote from Zig Ziglar: "You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want." People want a parking spot that doesn't have a grocery cart in it. People want a lot of they want efficiency, etc. Cart returners are disciplined. Good bit written here. Disciplined people tend to be more successful with money, stick to a budget, and saving isn't easy. But there always seems to be a budget-busting purchase we can justify. If we don't have self-control to resist deserting a shopping cart, will we have self-control to turn away from an impulsive purchase? Cart returners also, according to the article here, are happier. He says, I know I've addressed this already, but I'll say it again. Cart returning shows you're not selfish. What good is being selfish if you aren't happy? Then talks about Ebenezer Scrooge. Giving to others brings happiness into our lives, whether it's a big or small gesture. They can make a lasting impact. Focusing only on ourselves gives us a negative outlook on life. We tend to only think about the things we don't have, the things we want, or the things others have that we wish we had. None of these bring a spirit of gratitude or contentment. Finding a way to give to others will change your outlook. Giving takes the focus off of yourself and puts it onto others. This can even benefit your budget, as mentioned previously. At the end of the day, the only person you control is you. As infuriating as it is to see a front row parking space blocked by a deserted cart, take comfort in knowing that you still have the upper hand. And the author here says, and to all of my cart deserters, it's never too late to make a change. Cart returners are very forgiving and will welcome you to their side with open arms. Now, one thing that I will do, if I see shopping carts that aren't lined up perfectly in the little return corral, I line them up. I know it's weird, but I do it. Something else I do is answer your questions every Friday. Send those over ama.fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copy Heart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News, and also get a copy of the monthly newspaper FPP News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.